Hello and a very warm welcome back to the channel to you. Literally today, because the UK has actually seen a bit of heat for a change. How good is this? Anyway, about a week ago, I made a video speaking about this. The countless Fiskers that had been dumped by the roadside following the company having gone bust. Now, these were cars that were being held by dealerships that were actually trying to sell them. When the company went bust, they simply dumped them out by the roadside, just in case you didn't see that story, to give you a bit of background there. Now, in an even worse position than these dealerships are the individuals who actually went out there and bought one, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Let's take a look at one individual story, and then I'll tell you why we should all treat this as a bit of a cautionary tale. The 2.5 ton garden ornament. I do apologise, it looks like Moonpig certainly found a bit of budget to advertise with the Daily Mail this month, didn't they? Anyway, we'll try and blank it out. I bought a Fisker Ocean EV for £42,000, but now I've got a 2.5 ton garden ornament stuck on my drive after the company went bust and it stopped working. Now Fiskers, what you need to understand about them is they were problematic even before the company went bust. So the fact that they went bust and we can't get parts or software updates or anything like that, unusable at this point. These are going to be a woman who snapped up a sleek £42,000 Fisker electric SUV has been left with a 2.5 ton garden ornament. It's good wording, isn't it? That can't move after its software packed in and the firm went bust. Karen Simonson, a marketing manager from Southampton. I did think at that point as well that this was going to be a company car purchase, but it's not. It tells you in this article, if you read through it, that she did actually take out a personal loan to buy this thing, so she owns it, will still be making the loan payments, undoubtedly. She made the leap to the battery-powered motoring. She made the leap to battery-powered motoring with a Fisker Ocean Sport in December 23, setting aside concerns that Henrik Fisker's last car company had gone bust. Hey, maybe he was going to get it right this time. Third time's a charm, perhaps. But the 52-year-old's electric dream became a nightmare as she suffered repeated issues with the software. Fed up, she decided to send it back to Fisker under the terms of the warranty. But when someone came to collect it, it would not start. Days later, Fisker filed for insolvency, meaning that she had nobody to return the car to. That's a bit like those dealerships. That's how they ended up just dumping them out on the street. Technicians had disabled the 12-volt battery after the alarm kept going off, but this has left an inert brick that can't be moved or even opened. Jeez. Far from having her dream motor, Miss Simonson has been left with a car-shaped paperweight in her drive for the last 10 months with no end to the saga in sight. It's just been, from day one, a catalogue of catastrophes, she told Mail Online. The experience of an all-software car has put her off ever buying an electric motor again. Miss Simonson decided to make the leap to electric at the end of 23 after test driving a Fisker Ocean and falling in love with the car's cool eco-credentials, including its use of recycled materials and zero carbon emissions. She certainly got what she wished for there. It's definitely a zero emission car now, isn't it? That it can't move. I'm sorry, I don't mean to poke fun at her, but come on. I've been back and forth with the insolvency service, but I have no idea about anything. I'm literally at my wit's end. I've got a car that I can't move. Sources with knowledge of the Fisker liquidation said that the process was likely to last several more months owing to the complicated nature of the process. And while Miss Simonson said she's been speaking to members of the Fisker Owners Association, that's a thing, a club set up by those determined to keep their Oceans on the road, she's worried that trying to get the car going again might affect her return. Well, you need to admire their dedication to their cars, but wow, the idea that you have a group of private owners clubbing together and trying to get their £40,000 plus cars to work is just mind-blowing. Absolute madness, isn't it? She tried to file a claim as a creditor in Fisker's US insolvency case too, but received a letter informing her that her claim would not be taken forward. I've got a beautiful vehicle. If it was working, it would be absolutely fine. And I see all these wonderful people having a great time in theirs, but I'm not. Well, I tell you what, these wonderful people having a great time, they're not considering the residuals of their car, as has become quite YouTube famous. We Buy Any Car are valuing these at 250 quid each. In a stroke of luck, She credits to gut instinct Miss Simonson, I haven't read this yet, Miss Simonson still has a car to keep her on the road. Oh no. You're not going to say it, are you? She kept her old diesel car. Oh God. She kept her old diesel motor when she got her Fisker after the EV was delivered months ahead of schedule. You couldn't write it, could you? Unlike her snazzy EV, it actually works, and she says she's unlikely to go electric in the near future while cars like the Ocean continue to exhibit problems. I shall be sticking with fossil fuel. It has put me off supporting the environment because this is what happens. Electric car ownership is not what it's cracked up to be. It's almost poetic, isn't it? A probably old, couple of £1,000, no frills diesel car that starts right on the button over the fancy, full of frills electric vehicle. Now, why I say this is a good cautionary tale for us all, by that I don't mean you were thinking about going out and buying one of these auction Fiskers unless you're a bit mental, and this video has convinced you otherwise. I'm not saying that for one moment. What I'm talking about here is the much more real risk that's posed to a lot of people. What I'm getting at is this torrent of relatively new, mainly Chinese car brands that are popping up and targeting the UK market. Remember, these brands, they aren't going to target the likes of the EU or the USA with their steep EV import tariffs, but the UK, which has no EV import tariff, is fair game, isn't it? Well, at least from China anyway. Since 2020, there has been over 50 new Chinese car brands appear, all with the focus of saving the world from climate disaster. No, hang on, that's not quite right, is it? No, with the goal of cashing in on a very lucrative market with individuals like the lady in the article. We got NIO. You know NIO, don't you? No? Anyway, whoever they are, they plan to potentially start selling cars in the UK in 2025. We've got Zeekr. Yes, Zeekr. They plan to sell vehicles in the UK with a launch time frame around 2026. Xpeng sell in the UK already. They started in February 25. They've got their first dealership open and they're going to expand that to 25 dealerships all across the country by the end of the year. And of course, don't forget about Deepal. Yep. Chang'an Deepal, they plan to sell vehicles in the UK as well. Specifically, the Deepal SO7. It's going to be a real game changer, that one. I'm not saying every one of these car brands is going to be terrible and they're going to sell a couple of cars and disappear like Fisker. I'm not saying that at all. However, I am absolutely certain we haven't seen the last of this. What I mean by this is a car company selling a bunch of cars, maybe some are quite problematic, and then disappearing, going insolvent, going bust. Take this one for instance. We've got the Hi-Fi Z. This was in Top Gear. They were actually quite complimentary about this. This Nissan GTR lookalike. Maybe after a couple of pints, huh? It's got a 663 brake horsepower, electric, super salute. None of it matters. None of it matters because the company's bust, dead, gone. None of it matters. Or this one, Chinese EV startup, WM Motors. I'm led to believe they were actually fair size over in China. WM Motors files for bankruptcy. This was at the tail end of last year as well. It gets you thinking, doesn't it? And I guarantee a lot of people are going to fall into this trap. What might seem for the uninformed like a good deal, especially with flash dealerships popping up all around the country, the government telling you, yep, buy electric, it's the only thing that a decent human being would do, and rock bottom prices. I mean, a lot of people are going to fall into this, aren't they? A lot of people are going to learn the hard way that it's a bit of a nightmare. And of course, the same thing could happen with a new car company making petrol or diesel cars. I probably, within reason, wouldn't buy one of them either. But when it's electric, it's twice as bad because EVs by nature are very software driven. A mechanical problem on a diesel, for instance, well, most garages, not to mention DIYers, could probably sort that out. But fettling with code relating to a battery and a motor, it's still a very niche specialisation indeed.